country at our expense to live in your neighborhood.
You will replicate the conditions in Afghanistan here in the United States of America and all the horrors that entails.
My cat needs milk.
Excellent short film from the U.S. recounting the story of a refugee family coming from Afghanistan to the U.S. in August 2021. There was a real contrast between the pessimism of some in the U.S. media about these refugees and the hopeful optimism of the featured refugee family. Lots of intimate footage of the everyday lives of these people starting to integrate into U.S. society. I really like the scenes of the kids at school and the interview with their awesome supportive teacher. This is a really important film to see. Great job.
Are an embodiment of what an American family really is, which is a family that comes from so often somewhere else, that has a whole life written before them, before this chapter arrived. And we should, of course, be welcoming them with open arms, but so many here often do not do that. But the important thing I think to focus on, and that what this documentary does focus on, is the positive resources that are here in the education system, in just everyday life, that help support them and get them acclimated so that they can start anew here after having such devastation in their previous home countries.
This is a wonderful piece and very necessary for just so many reasons. But I'll concentrate mainly on what we see in the beginning, the xenophobic ranting coming from the Fox News broadcasters here, and then the reality of this wonderful peaceful family who had to flee, and they came here the day before the Taliban took over. And, the wonderful people living peaceful lives. And this is the most important thing, is to see these folks living peaceful lives, living like any family. He's at the grocery store. He's like, my kids like bananas. It's new to them. And, it's just nice to see such normalcy with these folks who have, had to immigrate here, these refugees that had to come here under such dire circumstances, He's at the grocery store getting bananas for his kids to discover they like bananas, Such a nice moment. But, this is a very important piece, just to spread awareness and to just let people know not to be afraid of people just because they're from another place. So this was wonderfully done. It was wonderfully edited, directed, good use of score. Everything was beautifully done. Everybody on camera who spoke was very real and communicated very well. The father of this family just, my heart goes out to them. He did a wonderful job communicating with us, and I'm glad his story was brought to us. So good luck with this. I hope it gets out and gets seen, because it's very important.
I really liked this. I thought it was a great juxtaposition of having the news reports and then seeing him and his small children and the kind of reality that he lives as a refugee and what he's trying to do and what he's trying to provide for his kids, and how he's just trying to start over and make a life for him and his family here. And I thought it was so great to have, at the beginning, you see all these clips of all this news coverage and what the news anchors are saying, and it's very, very kind of worst case scenario. And then you see him and his little kids interacting at home, and then him walking his kids and some of the neighbor kids to school the entire way, and making sure that they always stand one side of him, that he is always the one closest to the road, and you just see how he cares for them and all of that stuff. And then you get the reality of that half of the refugees were kids and their reality. And I thought it was just a great way to kind of, like I said, intentionally set up the contrast between the two and kind of show the reality of refugees trying to adjust back to or adjust to life in a new country.
It's a really wonderful piece, and I really like how it follows one family in particular, and we get to kind of see the day-to-day life, the ins and outs of what it is to live in America as a refugee. And I think it's important, although frustrating, that we do see the stark contrast and difference between the media's narrative of refugees from Middle Eastern countries and the actual lived realities of them. And they just couldn't be more different. I think it's important that we do focus on individual families, because I think that as a whole, when we think about refugees or just groups of people in general, it can be really easy to depersonalize and just think of them as a group as a whole, and it takes away some of the humanity. So I think when you really get to see these people are just like you, they are husbands, wives, children who are all just trying to live a better life, just like we all are. And so to see them in this very violent, negative light only causes them harm and instills fear in people of that country. So, yeah, it's frustrating to watch with the news coverage side by side, but important for people to see that these are real people who are living their everyday lives. They go to work, they go to school, and they're just trying to provide for their families. So I really liked this for that reason. I think it just helps humanize and personalize these experiences that are happening all across the country, all across North America and Western countries, and hopefully will instill some more compassion and patience throughout our days and our lives.
I really love this movie. It was really moving. I think I got emotional, but I'm not going to do that on camera. But yeah, it's just, heartbreaking stuff, and you guys just did such a good job telling his story, and and he's just one of the 60,000 that came over, and it's important for these stories to be told. So I think what you guys did is just super important, and just you guys should be really proud. And yeah, I thought, like, from a filmmaking aspect, I thought it was super well done. The intro was great, kind of setting the story up and the stakes and everything. And then I loved meeting him and his introduction and seeing his children, and then, him making the breakfast and having his voiceover over it. And then he comes to meet, that I thought that was super well done. And yeah, I just thought it was great.
It was a really fascinating story. And I think that it was nothing short of a miracle that he was able to get his family here and his children here. And I wanted to see more. I found that it was really fascinating to hear about how he was adjusting to life in America with his family. And also, I didn't realize sort of some of the refugees that are coming in, their experiences and the trauma that they have suffered, and how that might affect the children within the school. So I really wanted to kind of have a follow-up with the kids and see how they, were adjusting and things like this. This was really well done.